This Chicago Bears draft pick is presented by Manscaped. If you want the best men's grooming products out there, including the Lawnmower 4.0, we'll tell you about that product a little bit later. Go to manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20, get 20% off plus free shipping. The Chicago Bears have made their selection. It's at number 10 overall, and that is Darnell Wright. We'll talk about their trade with Philadelphia between 9 and 10 here in just a moment, those details. But let's talk about the pick itself first, get some instant reaction here. We've talked about Darnell Wright a lot. I told you my dream scenario was trading down for Darnell Wright. Now, I will admit that I was probably hoping it would be a few picks later, but you did add an extra pick in next year's draft. You go down from 9 to 10, and you get the Tennessee offensive tackle. Ryan Poles clearly fell in love with Darnell Wright, as did the Chicago Bears, and Darnell Wright fell in love with the Bears. He did an interview with NBC Sports Chicago talking about how much he liked Chris Morgan and Ryan Poles and Flus and everybody, and I think this just ended up being a match made in heaven between these two parties. He's been rising up draft boards, had a great junior season this past year for Tennessee in the SEC, flipping back from left tackle to right tackle, and was just a stud at the position. You look at his scouting report here. I just mentioned big step forward in 22. Also, the technique improved a lot, which led to less penalties. Size and physicality really stand out. The words that Flus and Ryan Poles use a lot: violence. This is a violent football player. Like, he is going to put defensive ends on their ass like he did throughout college this past year. At times, he's not the best run blocker, but I think he is still improving in that area. And you also get a really good pass protector for Justin Fields, which I think is really, really important as well. More analysis to come, but first, grade the pick, and then we'll take a look at the trade before we get more Darnell Wright specific analysis. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the pick of Darnell Wright at number 10 overall. I'm going to give it a solid B+. I think in a perfect world, you would have traded down a few more spots, but beggars can't be choosers. You can't, it takes two to tango. So B+, you were able to move down a spot, get a little extra, and you end up getting a player that you really liked and would have taken at number 9 anyway. So the reason the Bears moved from 9 to 10 is Philadelphia traded up, gave the Bears number 10 overall and a 4th-round pick, and you're probably thinking, why not more, Harrison? Well, here's why. The Chicago Bears were never going to draft Jalen Carter, and he was on the board at number 9. We learned that tonight. That much was clear. They could have taken him. They did not. The Eagles knew that, so they said, hey, just to be ultra sure, we'll trade up with you. We'll throw you a 4th next year. That way we can secure Carter, make sure no other teams trade up. Bears were never going to take him anyway. They move down, get an extra pick next year, and they select Darnell Wright, a player they probably would have taken anyway, at number 9 overall. Back to some analysis here. Here's Dane Brugler of The Athletic on Darnell Wright. He says Wright will get himself into trouble when he sacrifices technique for his nasty demeanor, but he naturally defaults to his raw power and body control to consistently win in both the run and passing game. He is a plug-and-play right tackle, and some teams have him on their draft board as a starting guard. He will not be a guard for Chicago. He will play right tackle, and he is a plug-and-play right tackle, which is what this team needs. We'll flash the depth chart here in a moment, but first, this is why you subscribe. We're getting you this news in real time, live on the channel, breaking it down here in this video. Darnell Wright, the pick to the Chicago Bears at number 10 overall. The offensive tackle out of Tennessee. There's been a lot of buzz between the Bears and Wright over the past couple of weeks. That has now come to fruition. We will have full analysis of every pick throughout the NFL draft, so hit that sub button, join the rocket ship here on Chicago Bears now. Don't miss any of it. Also want to shout out our sponsor, Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0, the best men's grooming tool on the market. Protect those family jewels just like Darnell Wright is going to protect Justin Fields by trimming yourself downstairs. The Lawnmower 4.0 has some adjustable guards. It has a wireless charging station. It's water resistant, so you can shave in the shower. It's really user-friendly. The battery life lasts a while as well, and you're going to be feeling better than ever downstairs. No razor burn, no cuts. This is a perfect advanced skincare technology product that's going to keep you nice and smooth. You can get the crop gel, the preservers down there as well to rub that on and keep you nice and smooth. Use promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. Darnell Wright, he's the right pick for Chicago, and Manscaped, the right product for you for men's grooming. So go check it out. Promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. So you look at the depth chart. You filled right tackle now. It's going to be Darnell Wright. And your offensive line all of a sudden could come together here really nicely. This allows Braxton Jones to stay on the left side. Maybe the Bears will shock us and flip Wright and Jones, but I think Wright will stay on the right side. Nate Davis, Tevin Jenkins, left and right guard. They might flip Jenkins to left guard. It sounds like they actually are probably going to do that, but that's interchangeable there. And then Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick at center right now. I still think they could add another center later in this draft, but your offensive line just got a lot better, and that's been a position of need for a while. I agree with Brugler in the sense that this is a plug-and-play right tackle. He's the best pure right tackle in this class. Peter Skoronski's arms are too short. They are 32 and a quarter inches. There's not a lot of history of guys like that having success as a tackle in this league. Had the Bears had a big need at guard, I think Skoronski is a better guard, is the best O-line prospect in this draft. But they went with the tackle who they think has massive upside. He's really athletic for being 6'5", 330. We'll see if Poles wants him to shed 10, 12 pounds to get more into that 315, 320 range. That's typically where he likes his linemen, but he can really move people in the pass game. I think in a zone offense, he's athletic enough in the running game to maul people as well and clear waves for Justin Fields and Khalil Herbert in this running back room. I like the pick. Would I have loved it more at like 13, 14, 15? Sure, but if you're convicted on this guy and trade offers aren't there, you just take them, man. You just take them and you don't look back. You need good football players if you're the Bears in this rebuild, and you just got one in Darnell Wright. So let's talk about how the Bears got to this point, how the draft played out, and things got wild pretty early. Not with Bryce Young to Carolina. We knew that was going to be the case, but Houston pulled off a smokescreen. They were, there was leaks for a couple weeks that they were not going to draft C.J. Stroud. They did. Then they traded back up for Will Anderson. Shout out Daniel Jeremiah, who called that one. Anthony Richardson to Indy. That was a shocker. Devin Witherspoon to Seattle. That was a shocker. They passed on Jalen Carter. Detroit passed on Carter. They traded down with Arizona after they had initially traded down with Houston. They got Paris Johnson Jr. I do wonder, had Johnson been there at 9, had the Bears selected him? We'll never know. Tyree Wilson went number 7 to Vegas. Bijan Robinson to Atlanta at 9. And then Philadelphia traded up with Chicago to draft Jalen Carter. Before everybody freaks out, I was like, why not Jalen Carter? Why not Jalen Carter? Couple of things. One, multiple teams passed on Carter. Seattle, a team that takes risks a lot, they passed on him. Detroit, a win-now team, traded out. They passed on him. Vegas, who has taken tons of risks over the years, they didn't tack him. Atlanta went running back, which is not nearly as big of a need as defensive line for that team. I think that speaks volumes. It makes way more sense for the Eagles where they're at right now as a Super Bowl contender to take a chance on Jalen Carter than it does the Bears. Now, would I have been upset if they did it? No, I wouldn't have. But remember, the Bears met with Carter at his pro day. He did not show up. He was out of shape, couldn't get through drills. They had a top 30 visit with him at the Combine. He had the arrests. Like, there's real risk there for a team that is still rebuilding heavily right now. I don't blame them for doing this whatsoever. You added a 4th-round pick next year to move down a spot for a player you were never going to draft anyway. I think that's a win for Chicago. B+ for me. I think it's pretty good. So now you look forward for the Bears. What are some needs? Well, you've crossed off offensive tackle there. I could see you adding a swing tackle type on day 3, but you've checked that box. Edge, still a big need. Had Tyree Wilson fall in there, I think they might have taken him. Defensive tackle, very much still a big need. There's no doubt about it. Cornerback, they could have gone Christian Gonzalez, who was sitting there at number 10. That could have been an option, and I wouldn't have been upset with that either. But there's a lot of good corners you can get on day 2. Could the Bears trade back into round 1 tonight? I think it's a possibility, but I think at the end of the day, chances are they'll probably sit. They've got 53, 61, and 64 tomorrow. Poles has some picks to work with. He added, hopefully, a cornerstone offensive tackle in Darnell Wright with the number 10 overall pick. I like it a lot. Again, in a perfect world, you would have traded down a few more spots, but there's no guarantee you would have been there had you done that. And again, I'm not going to get mad at a young GM who is convicted in a player and takes him. I'm just not going to do it. We gotta trust this process until proven otherwise. Now, if I hated the pick, I'd tell you that I hate the pick, but I don't hate the pick. I like the pick a lot. I think it was a really good selection. B+ for me. Darnell Wright, the pick for Chicago. And as of now, they're kind of on the bench for a little bit. We'll see if they get back sooner from 53. Again, they have 53, 61, 64. Could they package some of those picks to move back into the first round tonight. Maybe someone slides that they really like, but I think the Bears feel good about this selection for now, and now they look forward to what is next as they still have 9 draft picks this year. Who do you want the Bears to draft next? Whether it's today, tomorrow, drop a name down in the comments below. Who would you like to see the Chicago Bears take next in the 2023 NFL Draft? And hit that sub button. We'll have you guys covered throughout the draft pick analysis, news, rumors, trades as they come in as well. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to have you covered here on Chicago Bears Now throughout the 2023 NFL Draft.